Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining Chai Time. So, what is Chai Time? Chai Time is discussions where stories of adaptation, South Asian model minority myths, perceptions and perspectives, challenges and growth are shared through a long living tradition of sharing a cup of chai. So, do bring your chai if you have, and then watch our interview with Professor Mahendra Patel, who's considered the god of type design in India. Isn't that exciting that we have him live with us? At least live for Mohammed and I. So thank you, Mohammed, for joining. Mohammed Rahman is the professor at Cincinnati, at University of Cincinnati. Mohammed, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Muhammad Rahman. I'm an assistant professor of communication design at University of Cincinnati in the School of Design. And yeah, I'm excited to be here with Professor Patel.
And so let's introduce Professor Patel. Professor Mahendra Patel, often regarded as the god of type design in India, has left a lasting mark on the field of typography. This is a special session of Chai Time where we delve into his rich experiences in Basel, his profound love for typography, and his lifelong dedication as an educator. This robust discussion will highlight Professor Patel's pioneering contributions to the history of type design in India and his enduring influence on generations of designers. Professor Mahendra Patel is a retired principal designer who served as at the National Institute of Design, NID, Ahmedabad for 39 years from 1964 to 2003. After receiving his graphic design degree at NID in 1968, he pursued advanced studies in graphic design and typography in Basel and later collaborated on type design projects with Adrian Frutiger in Paris. He developed typefaces in several Indian scripts, including Devanagari, Gujarati, Bengali, Tamil, Malayalam, Kannada, and Telugu. Among his notable works in the signage design system for Tirupati, India's most prestigious pilgrimage city. Professor Patel has conducted workshops both nationally and internationally. His key recognitions include Grand Master of Design for his contributions to the design education by Indian Design Association at ICOGRANDA Conference at IIT Mumbai, the Gutenberg International Award conferred by the Mayor of Mainz, Germany, for his work in type design development for Indian scripts, the Lifetime Achievement Award at Typography Day 2016 in Bengaluru. In 2016, he was facilitated as Design Guru on National Design Guru Day by NID Alumni Association, an association of designers in India. He was honored as the living legend of design at the Vadodara Design and Film Festival. He currently serves as a distinguished professor at the United World Institute of Design, Karnavati University, Gandhinagar. Professor Patel, thank you so much for meeting with us. I mean, so much accomplishments lifelong. It's just so inspiring and oh wow. So we deeply appreciate your time and consideration. I first met you in 2009 as a graduate student working on my
Yeah.
thesis exploring Indian cultural identity and the vernacular through sensory experiences, while I was also a first year assistant professor at Illinois State University. At that time, you had retired from NID in Ahmedabad and were teaching as a visiting professor at several universities in Pune. You have shared your inspiring design journey with me, and I thought that was just I was just awestruck. And you discussed your collaborations, education, challenges, and successes on global platforms. You are one of the most recognized typographers and type designers in India. For our documentation, could you share how you began your journey and what compelled you to choose type design?
Oh, I in my school I used to love painting. In painting and drawing in a village 40 kilometer away from Ahmedabad, the school teacher think fine arts is painting terracotta plates and floors. That was my first exposure to so-called fine arts. After finishing my 11th, where I get scored very well, my teachers wanted me to do engineering or architecture. I chose to do fine arts, and that's how my first exposure to passion for painting started. I finished my graduation in 1961 in MS University, Baroda, and thought I'll do painting and then do my living with it. But I realized to make earning with painting, you have to praise people, and it's completely different scene in the country. So I realized that I need to do something more than painting, where I went back to my professor, K.G. Subramaniam, who was at Santiniketan later on, and say, I want to do master so I can create a better confidence to work with painting. He said, no, you are one of my best students. Africa में जाके कपट दुकान खोलो. You are not good for painting. I said, don't, sir, so harsh to me. So he said, okay, there is these people in Ahmedabad who is searching for young people like you. Why don't you go and meet them? That's how I went to meet Gautam Sarabhai and Gira Sarabhai, who were the director at NID in 1964, somewhere in July. And somehow it clicked. When Ivan Hoffman was coming to start post-graduation program in graphic design at NID in December, actually in January 65, but they were finalizing who would be the student. And they remember me and they called me, and I joined first batch of postgraduate students of NID in communication design. And Armin, Paper Tubner, Staub, photography person, all were my teachers. It was great to learn from Armin Hoffman. He can't speak much English, but his wife Dorothy speaks English, so it was nice. And Dorothy was Armin's student, so she was very good in English, and she wanted to teach also at NID. So she started teaching letter design. Armin was teaching graphic design, and somehow everything is new. Being a painter, even a centimeter scale and set square was new to me. So I was enjoying thoroughly, and it was a survival problem. I wanted to make a new life from painting, new choice professional career. So I put all my heart, and within 3 weeks, Mrs. Hoffman said, here is the person who should be trained for typography. She recommended this to Sarabhai. So Sarabhai took it seriously and immediately put me with Peter Tubner, who was German Swiss, and he came for 1 year for typography. And I was almost one-to-one student, one teacher, one student. For 1 year, I did all hot metal typography with him, and I excelled with him in all type of tabular matter and sizes, leading, and hot metal is a completely different type of typography. Then it happened that Adrian Frutiger was traveling to Japan in 1960. This was in 65, 66. He was going to Japan for a conference, and Sarabhai called him at NID for 2 days. And he gave a lecture on future of typography and influence of computing. In those days, people were talking about optical character recognition, that American number, how it was difficult to read by human being, but easy to read by machine. So he was working on a typeface which can be read by human being as well as computer. And he explained whole thing to us all. If I tell you very frankly, it went over my head. But somehow Sarabhai decided that here is the person who should excel in typography. So they sent me to Basel to learn typography for 1 year in 1967, where I had a full-time course with Adrian Frutiger and Andre Güttler. Andre Güttler was a typography teacher, and he was excellent in letter form. He was the associate of Adrian Frutiger, who worked on Narbani Pinho with Univer typeface. So he has a thorough training in form, readability, legibility, visual correction, visual proportion, and all. So he trained me or give me assignment to design for linotype some letter form, and which I worked very well, and he was very happy with me. Adrian remember me from that seminar, and he came to Basel and took me to Paris over vacations and interacted with me because Sarabhai told him that here is the person whom we are thinking to train for type design of Indian script. So Adrian gave me a little what you call VIP treatment at his studio during winter vacation for 2 weeks. And he says, Mahendra, I am really happy to, as a human being, and with your approach, I would make sure that you are back with me after your Basel. So in '68, we went back to NID, and we were young teachers to teach students 1.5 or 2 years younger than us, another postgraduate batches. And I started teaching undergraduate students also, taking undergraduate students. So we started teaching typography. Then NID decided to do professional project in font design. They remember Adrian Frutiger's promise, so they talked to him and they sent me for a training for 1 year to Atelier Frutiger in Paris in 1971. The term was that half day I would work on his type design or his project, and half day he would train me to know professionalism and industrial approach in type design. And I took Indian Devanagari and Tamil typeface, two opposite typefaces, so I can get maximum out of it. And we work very well. It is excellent relation with him. He became almost like a father, elder brother, and my mentor. Actually, he offered me partnership with his atelier to work on Indian scripts. Then I told him that, Adrian, I would be one of the 200 people in Europe, and I would be in India, I would be one of 4 or 5 people. So I rather prefer to go back to India and work. An institute has trusted me to be one of the responsible person to build education at NID. So I would prefer to go back. And he appreciated. He says, "Take what I want to give you something. Ask me anything." So I said, "Give me the painting which is hanging in his studio, his own painting." He said, "Oh, I'll make one for you." I said, "No, I like this painting." He said, "It is broken in the corner." I said, "That's why I like it most." And believe me, he packed the painting, came to the Air France departure, told the crew that here is my special painting and guest, please take care of him. That was the relation with Adrian Frutiger. It was tremendous. I was almost frustrated in the beginning. He's too busy, too many assignments. And for 1.5 months, I never meet him. I meet him hardly half an hour a day. And then I got angry on him and said, nothing doing now. Yeah, unless until you interact with me, I'm not going to be with you. He said, 1 minute, 1 minute. Let's do one thing. He cancel all his appointment, and we went on long weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, to Satra, which is he has a farmhouse there. And we were only 2 people there discussing our project, meeting farmers, eating good food, and all those things. And it become very close relation with him, and he trusted me very much. And within 4 months, I did almost total Devanagari project with artworks. And he says, Mahendra, don't do so much work. What would you do when you go back to India? I said, no, 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 no. But he said, I want to learn maximum. He said, no, no, no. It should not work. He gave me 4 days paid trip to Spain. He said, now you have worked enough. You deserve it. And when you come back, we'll discuss what to do next. So when I came back, I said, now I would work on South Indian script. Devanagari is complete, and I would like to know how you deal with unknown, unfamiliar, with me and to you also, how we go about it. And that's how I started working on Tamil script with him. With Armin Hoffman, it was very good relation in school, but it is teacher-student relation. Swiss people are little different, yeah, than French people. Though Adrian is Swiss, but he stayed in France quite a long to become a French person. it was difficult to have more than teacher relation with army till I met him in 1978 during the conference. I went back to school, and then things were different. When you go as a professor and meet senior professor, things are different than as a student. Then I met him once in Yale University. I went from Ridgely to meet him at Yale, and he was teaching letter design. And we had a very good evening together, and we discussed all the plan. He was very happy the way I am taking typography seriously and conducting it. His wife was extremely pleased with it. Another time I met him is at after Gutenberg Award. He was 90, and there was a birthday on 31st. He said, "Don't come on my birthday. Come next day so I can spend some time with you." And I went next day to meet him in Lucerne in his house, and it was very good. He was pale, quite aged. But he spent whole evening with him, and then uh, he talked about time in India, time in Basel, and all. And his wife inquired about all the credit of what we did in Basel and what we did at NID. I had another three students with of him, and I identified, and we had a good time together. Adrian, I met him several times in Paris. Whenever I go to Europe, I always make sure that I drop in Paris and go further to England or Germany or wherever it is. It becomes almost like my second guest house. And his mother-in-law's flat was always open for me. Whenever I go, he opened a flat which is on the top of his studio and say, "Help yourself." I had not have to worry about accommodation. Last time I met, before I met him during the Gutenberg Award, he called me after the studio hours and said, "Mahendra, I want to show you something." I said, "What?" He says, "See, I'm planning after type design, just retire." He has a family problem. His daughter's suicide, son run away to Spanish girl. So he had a broken family. So he was going into what you call breakdown quite often and go to Switzerland, his country house, stay for 2 3 weeks and come back. So he says, now I want to go permanently to my country house in Switzerland and live differently. And he was doing painting. He was learning painting. And now, such a famous person to learn painting in a school, he went to other side of the Paris where nobody knows him in a small painting school and started learning painting. And he showed me all his exercises with color and form he does with that little professor with it. And it was very intimate. He said, "Mahendra, I am only showing you. Nobody knows that I am doing this." After Gutenberg Award, I decided to meet all my professors. So I went to Switzerland to meet Armin Hoffman. I met one of my teachers, typography teachers, Pulver, H.C. Pulver. I couldn't meet Andre Gutler because he was mentally disturbed and he didn't want to meet or see anybody. Then I went to Adrian to his house and had a nice time with him one evening. Then I went to Frutiger in Luzern, where he was in a how would you say, senior citizen housing. He has a house of his own, but he loses his memory and he was handicapped. He has to be lifted sometime by people to put in a wheelchair and all sort of thing. He was bedridden and he was on very heavy medication. I knew all those things. I talked to medical staff of the senior citizen house. They gave him a drug, so he was very much in state where he can relate with and converse with me. And me and my wife spent almost 3 hours with him, and it was very good. He looked at my wife's bangle and say, "Dice," and my wife was wearing Punjabi dresses. No, no, Indian you should have wear it sari sort of thing. And it was very intimate. It was like almost father figure to me. He took me care. He arranged dining table for me. He told me how to use uh, strawberries with putting in sugar. Like a little child, he was holding my hand and helping me. In that. That was the relation with him, and we were really happy. Coming back to my work in NID, I came back to India with a very heavy, solemn head that I can change the world. And I had a shock. Nobody want to do type design. Nobody want to spend for type design. And so I remember my time in Basel going to Wanderweg. You know, you have a little weg which goes over the mountain and all, and which is even shown on their maps. So when I went back to India, when there was no type design project, I talked to director Gira Sarabhai and say I want to do map for Ahmedabad city. It's like eating Thai food and say I want to make a Thai recipe. I mean, eating is one thing, using is one thing, and creating is another. But I venture into it. I worked for 1.5 years. My first map, and it got a success. It received the President's DAV award for best printing and best design. Advantage with NID is we have good printing studio, very good printing studio. We even train printing people to do good registration. We designers were standing by it. My margin was half to 1 millimeter. Imagine when people would give half inch margin around, so something goes wrong, they can tolerate. I said no, only 1 millimeter maximum. And I use maximum of paper and train people to do that sort of a thing. And it worked. People got trained, and then one after other, started designing map from tourist map to route map to planners map to irrigation map to monumental map from Ahmedabad to Gujarat to India. I designed all different 7 different type of maps. The director told me, enough, Mahendra, you are here for type design, not map design. So focus on type design. Then I started working on type design, and I did type design for Deccan Herald in Karnataka for their Prajavani and publications. Then Malayalam Manorama knew about that we are working with Deccan Herald. They felt their competitor is working with NID. They also need to catch up. So they called me and said, do something for us. So I designed classical, neoclassical font for them in Malayalam, for Malayalam Manorama. Then Gujarati Type Foundry came with Vasant Bhatt and other people, and they wanted to learn how to go about type design for phototype setting. So I designed Gujarati typeface, and they produced the metrics for phototype setting, and there was no end to it. I designed Devanagari for exhibitions. For central government, I designed Devanagari for stencil writing. Then there was few projects which came in. I designed the State Bank of India, all 9 different languages. I designed the logotype lettering for them, which is matching in style and size and legibility. Then international airports, I designed the letter form for that to match with Heathrow English typeface. They were using Johnson typeface at that time. And then I designed type design for our own city for signage, which was liked by the commissioner, and he gave the signage design project for Ahmedabad city. I got interested in wayfinding design. That brought me to Tirupati, and I designed 5 different language wayfinding design for Tirupati, and it went very well. Chandrababu Naidu from Andhra Pradesh liked it when he visited, so he asked us to design something for Hyderabad. So I designed wayfinding design for Hyderabad city. And by the time I finished that Hyderabad wayfinding design, I got retired. And NID got another project for Kumbh Mela, where several lakhs of people go for a bath, holy bath. So I designed wayfinding design in Ujjain, Kumbh Mela, and I retired. My son became a graphic designer who is my student, and he wanted to establish his profession. So I volunteered him with him to work with him and his partner on Bombay International Airport signage. We did together, and he continued. So this is my journey. Now, you can't do good work all your life. You are lucky if you get two or three good projects which you are proud of it. So, and I couldn't cope with new technology, new mindset, new business sense outside. So I decided to focus on teaching. So after 2007, I decided to teach only typography. In the beginning, typography. Later on, it came to font design and type design. That's what I'm last 25 years. I'm focusing at different school, almost 10 to 12 different school in India. I have taught only type design. At the moment, I'm teaching at Nirma. We decided to work only on type design for non-Latin scripts. I'm pushing students who are English speaking and affluent students from good family. They have to take a route back to their own regional script, regional structure, and then do something with it. There are 12 students, and all 12 have different styles and almost six different scripts, and they are working on it. So I'm really happy to uh, explore, experiment, and learn while teaching. One philosophy I have in teaching is I don't teach the same way after 3 years. I think what I have done in 3 years, after third year I say what have I done, and I'm different. So my new style comes of teaching. So every 2 3 years, I enjoy teaching and I don't get bored like a routine thing. It is always exciting to be with students. That was I can narrate my little journey with typography.
I mean, what a what a journey, what an accomplishment. Like like most of us, like we can do only little bit, maybe like 5% of what you have done, but it's just awe-inspiring, like how I mentioned. And I'm from Karnataka, from Mysuru.
Yeah,
Grew up reading Deccan Herald and Prajamani.
yeah, yeah.
Unaware that that you had designed typography for it. Now going back and looking at it, and yes, just so beautiful, beautiful structures in terms of type. But my next question was going to be, as an educator, what keeps you motivated and passionate about teaching? You already talked about it, but one
Yeah,
thing you also mentioned that your wife was also traveling with you at
yeah.
times, and so my question to you is, like as a human being, how have you balanced family life and teaching, even at this young age
Yeah.
of your career? So we believe that there is so much to learn from your example. Like,
Yeah.
how do you do that?
Uh, at NID for 39 years, I worked very hard. And almost like NID was my first home, home was second home. I almost was what you call from a apprentice to director's post, and then I had very good I'm not praising myself, but institute can trust me, and wherever they have problem, they would come to me and say, Mahendra, can you take it care? And when the moment I do it, it is always successful. There's something meaningful comes out, which gives me very positive mindset. Uh, a mindset, what by experience I found, you have to have empathy with your client, with your students, with your family. They are different by nature, You have to accept that difference and live with it. And not only tolerate it, live with it, and enjoy living with it. That's what happened with me. I go to students who are dumb, students who don't care. I go to Parul University. All rural students come, and I had a 4 week workshop with them. At the end, they all got interested in typography. For me, my philosophy is learning should be pleasure. Whatever you learn, learning should be meaningful to them. I say not teaching. I create learning as a challenge, learning as a pleasure, learning as an opportunity for students. They own their own work. They are, no doubt, as a teacher, I'm more proud of my students' work, but it belongs to them. I say it is your work. I'm just a reflector and I give you a pointer. You don't have to believe me, but you should have other answer, just believe me. I give you suggestions, I give you directions. It's only more experience. Otherwise, technology wise, everybody has ideas. Even my wife has ideas. All children have ideas. All students have ideas. To bring the ideas into pitchable, usable format, and industrial and professional solutions for it is a completely different challenge. Design is all design detailing, design system. Without teaching them system, I teach them system. I teach them discipline, which is without saying discipline, and they discipline themselves. This is only comes by age. By saying that you should come in time, you should be disciplined. I put so much of my hard work and you don't care for it, doesn't help. You have to understand what they are, and slowly, slowly, it's like God. You have a picture or a stone before you, and you trust Him, and you surrender to it, because you have to create that sort of a aura and trust with students. Only problem in today's time, you have so many institutes and so many students. So that personal relation doesn't happen, but academic relation. When you teach, they feel you are their own. You feel students are yours. But then you go to next institute, sometimes 170 students, sometimes 30 students, sometimes 80 students. Very difficult. At NID, I was fortunate to have only 25, 30 students. I know, I still remember their names. But last 25 years with all these different institutes, it is not institute fault, it is not students' fault, it is my fault. Because I decided only teach typography. And no institute can afford to have full-time typographer like me on their roll call. Because typography is what? One module, two module, 6 weeks a year or 8 weeks maximum, one, two, three. So I decided to only enjoy teaching. That's why I go to different institutes who care for typography. Sometimes they are curious. They know about my name. They call me. Once they call and they see the result, I have good recurring experiences with them. That is what how I with my family in NID I was the hero and my family was following me. After retirement, I told my family that now my wife would be hero and I would follow her. And I always take her in confidence. No doubt it is sugar coated medicine sort of a thing. I say, how about this? If we go together, it would benefit us, this, that. And I convince her to come with me. Sometimes I go for 1 day or 2 day. I travel alone. The problem with my wife is English. She is not comfortable with English. She is good in Hindi and Gujarati. But I take care in the during the day. I'm busy. I come early and interact with her. Or weekend hours. Normally Saturday, Sunday I don't teach, and we spend time together.
I mean, it was a pleasure that you invited me to your house last time I was in India
Yeah.
and meet Mrs. Patel. I really I'm so grateful for that experience.
Yeah.
and just having a cup of chai together in your backyard was just
Mm.
so beautiful. And I would love to do that again sometime when
Oh,
I'm
you are
free.
always welcome.
Yeah.
Other thing is I'm a good counselor. If
Mm,
I counsel my students, my colleague, why not I can counsel my own wife?
mm,
So we go for a walk together. We go to shopping together. Sometimes I look to TV together. We do togetherness not just as a ritual, but really by appreciating and putting yourself
mhm,
with a empathy and with a respect is a only way you can relate with your family.
mhm,
Nowadays, they are all what you call distant families. Children are somewhere, grandchildren are somewhere. It is only your wife who is with you.
mhm.
So if I don't value my wife, whom I value? I have no choice.
That's an
Yeah,
amazing tip, like
yeah,
especially for us. At least I'm an empty nester, and then
yeah,
so the children are somewhere else, and that's a great tip for to have a
yeah,
good relationship with your partner.
yeah.
I don't know if Mohammed can relate, like Mohammed is married too. Mohammed as a partner as well. Uh, I have my next question is something that I've always been wondering. You're regarded as the Frutiger of India, have and also received the Gutenberg Award and are considered the god of Indian type design. Anytime I talk to people about you, they're like,
Yeah.
"What? You know God? You talk to God?" That's what people tell. So how do these recognitions make you feel? Do they bring gratification, a sense of responsibility, or both?
Okay. Uh, I have Frutiger-ness, not Frutiger. It means the value he imparted to me go deep down to me. The first thing he told me, Mahendra, when you become a teacher or a professional, take the receiver or user who knows nothing. If you convince them and if you serve them, you can serve anybody. Think the last bench dump student, and if they enjoy and they understand, everybody would understand. Make your teaching or interaction user friendly. When there was no mobile, he used this word with me, and that was golden word for me. Other thing is management, time and task management. He was extremely busy, but he was able to stay with his family, spend time with his children. He was able to give a Kosa party at studio. He was very human at the same time. It is a quality of time rather than quantity of time, which is what I learned a big lesson from him as such. Surprisingly, after my Atelier Frutiger experience, once or twice I sent my work or he saw my work. But in my heart, it's like God fearing. Yeah, in my heart, he's always there. He always influenced me. And I express to him whenever I meet him. But in the physical, commercial way or a consultancy way, we were independent. But there was fruitiness in me all the time. Even now, when I see a form, I see not letter form, but form and counter form, the flow of the form, the spacing, the visual story letter form gives is becoming part of me because of him. And it has become so part of me that when I teach my students, it comes out naturally with that. Sometimes I use or my institute use his name to promote and brand themselves. But same thing I do with my students. None of my students are Mahendra Patel. They are on their own. You don't see Mahindra style. I don't know whether you can identify that this is Mahindra Patel style. No, there is style list. My other thing is good design, where you don't see designer, but you see design. That is my motto. So sometimes I don't worry about exclusivity in design, but functional, usable, useful, meaningful, relevant design. And this depends on what concept, what a problem, what need you take, my student take or I take, and I serve accordingly.
My other question is like we are SADEA, the South Asian Design Educators Alliance, and then we designed the logo together. The logo might not look very professional in terms of because I
Yeah,
did get a comment from someone saying, a type designer saying that it looks kind of very foundational and basic. But the reason
mm,
the SADEA logo looks foundational and basic is that we collaborated each designer
yes,
in the committee designed
yeah,
a platform, and when we did it collaboratively, and when we wanted to show that diversity, and
yeah,
that's why and we celebrate our logo. But we were also very grateful that when I reached out to you and said, here are the
yeah,
letter forms designed using Latin letters, but
yeah,
then can we do it as a transliteration project? And then I reached out to you, and you
yeah,
were so kind and humble that you sent me two different versions, all
yeah,
hand done in Gujarati letters. And then
yeah,
you even said, choose one, whichever goes well with
yeah.
with you. And then we did that, and we are so thankful for that. So your submission reflects your care and passion for the field. And then we are, like I said, we are truly humbled and honored. This is a Sadea question in terms of our own recording our own histories and narratives. And I'm going to let Mohammed ask that question,
Yeah.
please.
Yes, Mohammed.
Yeah, I was just listening, and it was so nice hearing the whole journey. I just wanted to mention one thing is it's of course it's about like great work and uh, you know great learning, but also about great people. I think it's a lot of good people you had in your
Yeah,
life, which is part of the amazing journey. I mean, they cultivated, it's almost like little threads in your
that's
whole
true.
journey.
Yeah,
That's immense, that's an immense opportunity, starting from Sarabhai or at NID to like Basel and coming back
yeah.
to India and everything. So yeah, we need good people like those.
Mhm.
That's what I wanted to say. For question, I was wondering, like why do you think it is very critical and important for us to author our own narratives as South Asian designers rather than allowing, say Western canon of design to define us? I'd like to hear your perspective on this.
It's a really good move and good initiative to get a community or a group feeling and group presentation and respect it group identity in that part of the world where everything is very flashy and very dominant, and to make a uh, uh, identity and the recognition is not an easy thing in USA especially, which I appreciate very much when I saw your efforts and chai and other thing. And it is not only design. It is not about design. It is about design community. It is people. It is people working there, and her food parties and chai party and all that Indian cooking and other cooking and fusing food things. It's a very human thing to break ice and break people's uh, uh, what you call inhibitions to first is looking at ourselves, and if we are strong and we have community respect, other would respect us. So you have built within the community very good rapport and respect for each other, which I understand from Archana. and I have been following her with some of the posts, and I appreciate it. Looking to the fortunate things like person like me gone through is only the generation. We started in 1960s where there was hardly any design awareness. We were few and people didn't have choice. Whatever we do was influential, was visible. Nowadays there are lakhs and lakhs of designers around the world. To get the visibility, get the recognition, get the identity is not an easy thing. To give us good service which can become effective is at a global level or a wider level is a challenge nowadays, which was very easy in our time because government had no choice than coming to NID. There was no other institute. People don't have an industry didn't have much choices than coming to NID because NID was the first institute to commence industrial and professional approach in design, not only artistic. And we were lucky to be pioneers. It's like Colgate. Now, even any toothpaste is called Colgate, yeah, in India at least. Same thing happens with NID, NID, NID. Now there are almost 40 to 60 different design institutes in the country, doing much better than NID, professionally, economically, and financially. They have thousands and thousands students. NID has hardly few hundred students, yeah. But still, NID has made that because of the early culture and philosophy which has lasted long. Same thing which happens with South Asian design educators community. The culture and the philosophy you build would influence generation to come because you are the beginners, you are the pioneers in that, which would get a momentum in a time in history. This what I wish you and would happen.
Thank you. I think you mentioned about one is like the culture as it is, but
Yeah,
also I was wondering I mean it's a follow-up question if you ask if you answer is there is one is culture, the other is the culture of design or the culture
mm,
of art, however you
yeah,
say.
yeah,
The problem is there is a Western canon of design, and you had both of them. That's why
yeah,
it's like such a interesting melting point because you
mm,
can share from like you have the flexibility to pull
Mhm.
the ties.
mm,
Um, so do you think, and I'm very ambitious to ask this question, like when Indian designers, South Asian designers, they simplify, say, for example, or flatten things for the sake of legibility, I'd say, for in the typography. Do you think some of the knowledge in our culture, in the culture of design, gets lost?
Mhm.
What is the tension that you feel when you design? Because you have both the side, the
yeah,
Basel side of it or the Ahmedabad side of it, both.
Mhm.
So what do
yeah.
you think of that?
Mohammed, NID is very much influenced by Swiss
Mhm.
and Western design, old man Bauhaus design thinking, where form follows function and very much on usability.
Mhm.
Later on, we realized that it is not enough communication and cultural context and people context is also as, as important. We started taking projects and challenges which is people based and cultural based and region based. But the mindset to think of a system design and not expressive design is only difference with what you say simplified. It is not simplified. It is, I would say, uh, it become more democratic rather than individual styles. Now, individual style can be state-based, language-based, like script, or religion. People are traveling across India and across the world. Now there is a global movement. In this case, I have students who are from Calcutta, don't know language, Bengali even. They are in Delhi, they study in Gujarat, and they are talking about Bengali typeface and Bengali culture. Their parents have moved to other states. Forget about them. Now this is happening in this country and it is happening everywhere. We are, there is one thing is there, work locally, think globally. But locally, what is locally? Is my mother tongue is locally, or where I stay and where I work is my local root. The roots are changing, and there are fusion of all those things, and we are living in that period. So there are new cultural symbol which is emerging. We have dosa with chicken, South Indian with Punjabi flavor. We have sweets which are coconut, but we become a laddu in Gujarat. We put now coconut into it. So it is like Kerali laddu, but it done in Gujarat. People are accepting and people are enjoying it. The family are also fusing now. There is no, I'm not Gujarati because staying in Gujarat. I'm Gujarati even I'm staying in New York. I'm Gujarati even I stay in New Delhi or in Calcutta. And I speak Bengali, I eat Bengali food, I eat fish also, but still I'm Gujarati. So whole now there are people who feel who doesn't make distinction between civilization and culture. Civilization was once a culture, has frozen as a era and become a civilization. Culture always evolve. It changes according to the person, situation, mindset, economic status, and politics also. Nowadays, you can see Narendra Modi is influencing culture in a big way in India. It is coming different type of cultural mindset. So I would say I'm not a thing that Madhubani only is cultural symbol or Ajanta or early sculpture. That way we would have not gone beyond Harappa and Mohenjo-daro. It also evolved over the time. Now we are in 21st century, new cultural symbol happens. In my presentation, there are students who does Malayalam with Persian flavor. There are Malayali in Middle East. They would do different type of Malayalam reflection. Even there are Chinese students who does Malaysian in a look like Persian script because Malaysia has lots of Muslim population. I talked about it, I think, last time in a presentation. I have Bengali student who does English like a Bengali spirit, Rasgulla spirit, which is soft, uh, ornamenty, but functional. Now, our job as a designer, as I told you earlier, ideas are everywhere. Concepts are where? How to make concept usable, meaningful, relevant, and professional by using design input of system and design detailing. What is design system and detailing is prediction. You read it and you predict things. You bring comfort, which is readability, not visibility that you strike out. Designer sees design. No, no. But you have there's a space for legibility typeface also. You have occasion where you require fancy, culturally motivated like Madhubani font or a illustration style. Good enough. Depends on situation. This is my point of view in this.
Thank you.
Welcome.
That was amazing. Just to talk about cultural fusions, migrations, the changes. We are always like here we live in the United States, and I think of myself, and we are always regarded as the Indian American, so we have an hyphenated identity. And then I'm sure the migration within India is also so tremendous, like how you were mentioning, your
Yeah.
students are from a particular community, but then they are your student, and then they live in a different state. Maybe they might not even know their mother tongue, or maybe they know their mother tongue, they don't know how to write the alphabets, and then relearning and learning. You're creating such amazing opportunities for your students to kind of go back to their own ancestral cultural heritage and learn the type like through typography. So,
Mhm.
and then what I was super inspired also is the way that you talk about your learning, almost like this, like our own philosophy of how we respect our gurus,
Yeah.
and how your guru has, or your gurus have kind of inspired you and influenced you to be where you are as an educator and also as a human being. And we see that throughout your journey. And for me, at least, I feel like I'm Ekalavya. Like, I've been watching you ever since I met you in 2009, and learning so much from you. Every time I meet you, there is something that I always learn, or every time you post something, there is always something as an educator I'm learning, or as a human being I'm learning. And it's super humbling to just talk to you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So I'm also looking at time. So if is there anything else, Mohammed, that we need to follow up through SADEA? Anything? Any last questions?
No, I don't have a question. I'm just so happy and glad that you gave us time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's
Muhammad,
I
Muhammad, the text behind you is
Mhm,
pressed vertically. If you see G horizontal is very heavy
mhm.
and curve at the side are lighter, which
Yeah,
is
it's a reverse contrast. Yes.
yeah, non-conventional, but that non-conventional thing is uniformly recognized as a system design and become what you call ugly, or I call it ugly with my Swiss mind, become pretty because of exposure and recognition, conscious use of it, and professional use of it, which become people, you influence people, you
Mm.
educate people,
Mm,
and people started saying things beyond what they are comfortable with. This
mm,
is what design can contribute.
mhm,
True,
mhm,
true. No, this is Gopher. The typeface name is Gopher, and we
Yeah.
used it for an experimental brand identity for our school
mm,
because
Mm.
we wanted to make it a little more inclusive. As you know, like Latin is always vertical is thicker, horizontal is thinner, right? So we
mhm,
wanted to have something not like a very odd, weird, quirky
Yeah.
reverse contrast, but
Mm.
Gopher gave us just the bit that we needed.
Yeah.
And we created like this like whole identity thing,
Mm.
experimental typeface, but it's formal, but I'll share that at another time.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Sure.
thanks for recognizing that. Because we wanted to make it like, the Hebrew, Bengali, Arabic, they're more
Mm.
like reverse contrast. So we wanted to have something in between
mm,
Mm.
in that because we have a lot of community over here it feels like the previous identity is very Swiss grid.
Mm. Yeah.
So we wanted to break from there, but not too much because there is
Yeah.
a huge tradition of design.
Yes.
But
True. Yeah.
so yes, I agree with you. Like that's what design contributes. Like the conversation, like
Yeah.
design as conversation, I think that's very important.
mhm.
Thank you so much again for your time.
Oh,
It's
pleasure. Pleasure.
late at India.
Well, thank you again so much, Professor Patel, for your time, guidance, and generosity. So we really appreciate everything that you have done and doing for SADEA and continue doing. So thank you again and namaste.
Namaste. And I'm really pleased to interact with you and get such a audience or recognition at my age. It is real pleasure.
Can I
I
have
would,
one thing,
yeah.
Professor Patel? You said like you can speak in Bengali.
No, I
You can
understand Bengali.
recognize or understand. Okay.
Recognized character.
Okay.
All the script, Tamil, Malayalam, Telugu, Kannada, I can recognize the words, I can pronounce words, but
I see.
I can't. So if I tell you very frankly, I have panel of people who take decision. I work and ask them to take decision for me. So that editorial, because I don't know language and I
Mm,
don't have cultural exposure. So
true.
I use like myself as a technician or little experienced people. I
Mm,
give them options. I give them ideas. I ask them to take decision. I help them to take decision.
mhm,
That
That's good.
happened with both Malayalam and Kannada typeface and even Tamil when I design. I send them, got their reflection. They have typical habit of elongating, keeping the bottu in a certain position.
Mhm.
Then say, how about this? How about this? How about this? I feel from my eye point of view, this is more relevant. They say, okay, but to not to that extent. And
mm,
I accept this. So it
That's a
is
true
not my
mentor.
design. My client feels it is their design. Even in Tirupati,
mm,
the engineers and people feel it is their design, not my design. I
mm,
train them to take decision and execute also. I become a silent person. That's what I say. Good
Mm.
design is where designer is not seen.
More objective. Yeah. Yeah.
mm.
Yeah.
The
Correct.
objective. Huh. Well, thank you so much for that
Oh,
thought,
pleasure.
that objectiveness and that giving, sharing, communicating. Um, really appreciate you, Professor Patel. I hope we can be like you one day. So thank you again
Thank
and
you.
namaste. Namaste.
And all my best to all your members there. Yeah.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much, Professor Patel.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Have a
Good
good
night.
night.
Good night.